Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we are going over 10 Legend of Zelda Easter eggs you totally missed. For this list, we'll be looking at obscure Easter eggs within the Zelda series that many players may not have noticed. Each Zelda game is packed with hidden secrets, and we're only scratching the surface here. So be sure to head to the comments and let us know what your favorite little-known Easter egg is.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Fishing Hole Management, The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. In Ocarina of Time, players could visit the Lake Hylia fishing pond for a respite from monster-infested dungeons. Here, players could relax by catching some fish or terrorizing the owner by stealing his hat. The fishing hole made a return in Twilight Princess, owned by a woman named Henna. Along the wall are photos of notable fishers and their catches, including the owner from Ocarina holding that game's famously rare Hylian loach. Henna will gush over the photo, saying he may be one of her ancestors, although she can't prove it. Turns out she doesn't need to, though, as both characters have the same animation where they scratch their back. The Hidden Remlits, The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. During the game's tutorial, Link will be asked to find Mia, the Skyloft Academy's headmaster's kitten-like remlet. You can always come back to visit Mia, who will lovingly meow as soon as you get near, or at least she will during the day, because at night, remlets turn vicious. A pack of them roams the area after the sun goes down, but you may have been wondering where they all are during the day. To the left of the statue of the goddess is an area you can reach with the claw shots, a late-game item. You'll find the pack of remlets just over the wall, relaxing in a flower garden. And for extra cuteness, make sure you play your harp for them. Breath of the Wild preview, The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess HD. When Nintendo released Twilight Princess HD for the Wii U, it came with a nice reference to the series' future. Chudley's Fine Goods and Fancy Trinkets Emporium is an overpriced shop found in Hyrule. Seriously, its cheapest item is still 10,000 rupees. But inside the shop hangs pieces of art that are really screenshots from the 2014 Breath of the Wild teaser. If you had played the original game and steered clear of the shop until you could afford it, like I did, you may have missed this Easter egg. When it changes to the much more affordable Mallow Mart, the artwork will be gone. This wasn't the first instance of Nintendo doing this, as it also hid Skyward Sword art in Ocarina of Time 3D. It's dangerous to go alone. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is packed with more Easter eggs than any other game in the series, and one of its coolest sits in plain sight, staring you right in the face. The Sheikah Slate offers Link a variety of features, one of which places beacons at faraway locations. There are 5 different colored beacons to place, but they all have the same Sheikah text constantly scrolling upward. When translating the ancient language, the message reads, "It's dangerous to go alone." This references one of gaming's most famous quotes and the first line of dialogue seen in the original The Legend of Zelda, spoken by a kindly old man in a cave who gives Link his first sword. Marin's crane game, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. At a certain point in this handheld adventure, Link will need to lead his new friend Marin to a specific point on Koholint Island. While you can just follow the story, there are all kinds of fun things you can do with her first. Many of these are small, like getting her to fall on Link after jumping down a hole, but by far the best activity you can do with her is at the Trendy Game Shop. Normally a place for Link to win prizes via a crane game, Marin will ask to play if she's with him. Instead of going for the prizes, she'll pick up the store owner. He'll get so upset that he'll kick you out for being pros. Worth it. Controlling a Kuko, The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. Beginning with A Link to the Past, players learned to never attack cuckoos, chicken-like animals that swarm Link if he hits them too many times. The barrage of feathers and talons will only end if Link exits the area. By the time Twilight Princess was released, Nintendo decided to have a little fun with them. While many of us took one look at them and kept our swords safely in its sheath, those who didn't were greeted with a surprise. Because attacking them here does not call in a deadly flock, but rather lets the player control the cuckoo for a few seconds. You can't do much or go too far, but it's still a clever way to play against expectations. Relics of Nintendo's Past: The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask 3D. Majora's Mask 3D features a plethora of Easter eggs that are references to Nintendo's past. Some are fairly obvious, like the massive GameCube in the Clocktown Bomb Shop or Romani's toy of Ganondorf's horse. But others are more obscure and well hidden. Hanging in the bomb shop near the GameCube is an Ultra Hand, a Nintendo toy from the 1960s. Hidden in the Curiosity Shop, though only visible when peeking in at Cafe's hideout, is the NES's Rob. There's also a Wiimote in Goron Village, hidden among the other toys belonging to the village elder's son. Orca's meta reference: The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. Outset Island's Orca mainly serves as a tutorial for the game's swordplay, but he does offer a couple of side quests later in the game. One of these quests involves hitting Orca as many times as you can before he lands 3 blows on Link. It takes a whopping 500 hits before he'll give up his piece of heart, but for players who want to prove themselves the best, the limit goes to 999 hits. After that, Orca will stop you, raising your rank to master and stating there's nothing more he can teach you. But he'll also ask if your left index finger hurts, a fun meta nod towards the finger used to hold down the lock-on button. The Spirit Tracks recipe: The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild's Hyrule Castle is one of the franchise's most deadly, as it's teeming with high-level enemies. But it also gives you access to more side quests and lore. In the library, you can find 2 new recipes, one of which is for a monster cake. The old book you find the recipe in lists it as an unnamed chancellor's favorite, but warns that it may motivate someone to plan evil schemes. This note, along with the cake's appearance, is a reference to Chancellor Cole, a backstabbing antagonist from Spirit Tracks. The DS title is far from the most popular, so it's likely many players didn't pick up on the reference if they found it. The original map: Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Speaking of Zelda games that are far from popular, Zelda 2 was quite different from its predecessor, but it still included an incredible Easter egg reference to the first game that went unnoticed for a long time. Just below Spectacle Rock is an area with a graveyard and some water that doesn't serve much of a purpose outside of grinding. However, looking at the full picture reveals that it highly resembles the layout of the overworld map from The Legend of Zelda. Hiding an entire map is impressive, though Nintendo would similarly reference Wind Waker's Outset Island in Breath of the Wild's Lurelin Village. Anytime Nintendo references landscape features of past Hyrules is delightful to stumble upon.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.